Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video, and today, this is the surprise event. I am doing a 4th of July full major update idea. So this is something I've had in the works for a while, and I was going to release it sooner, but I figured we'd wait until July comes. I know it's the 30th, so I'm a little early, but I couldn't wait. So here is the 4th of July update for you guys. Now, this is a major update, and what I wanted to do with this one is focus entirely on real-life people. So every single character that we're going to be unlocking in this event, apart from one NPC, is a real-life person. So, real-life living or non-living president. Actually, sorry, no, none of them are living. I tell a lie. None of the presidents that I've added are living. I don't know why I thought they were. So, yeah, most of the characters would be definitely available to be added. The only character which I think may, or the only two characters which I think may not be added, at least not anytime soon, are in the final act, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. So, welcome to my event. So, the startup, I forgot I did the Guild deal first. So the startup is the 4th of July, is on its way, and Quimby announces that to celebrate, all the previous presidents are coming to one very special town, Shelbyville. The town asks why he's telling them this, and Quimby tells them that because we're going to be tricking all the presidents into coming to Springfield instead. So you make Quimby dupe former presidents, make Lisa research previous presidents, and this unlocks the event. And so the 4 act currencies, we've got constitutions as the Act 1 prize. For Act 2, we've got bombs. For Act 3, we've got rifles. And Act 4, we got moving boxes. And so obviously then the Guilds deal drops. So we're going to be getting, I know he's not a president, and I wanted to include him in some way, so I figured the Guilds deal makes the most sense. And that will be Christopher Columbus with the Age of Heroes sandwich shop for 200 donuts. So the sandwich shop is inside the Springfield Museum, and Christopher Columbus obviously isn't a president, isn't really even an American. But obviously he's largely cited as the person who founded America, even though he didn't really found America. But he's still an important person somewhat in American history, even if it's like how he was viewed in American history as a sort of thing. Like, he's still important in some way, I think, even if it's just how he was randomly made the founder of America, even though he really wasn't the founder of America. But yeah, I figured why not add him in. He's loosely connects, so I figured him is the Guilds deal. Makes sense. So that's Christopher Columbus with the Age of Heroes sandwich shop for 200 donuts. So like I said, there's the startup. And then Act 1 drops. Boom. So Act 1, we're going to be getting Thomas Jefferson with the Jefferson Memorial Statue for 125 donuts. Now, I'm sort of unsure because we only ever see this as the actual statue, but obviously this is in like a little oval-shaped kind of monument thing. So I think they could add the little oval-shaped thing as well and give us the statue. Obviously this oval-shaped part would be tapped out exclusive, but the statue wouldn't. I just want the statue to be on full display, so they may have to make the pillars a bit wider than they would be really, just so we can see the full statue on display. But yeah, Thomas Jefferson statue with Jefferson himself. So you get Thomas Jefferson, full purple character, and this cool little statue. Then Act 1, the prize track. So we got a bunch of presidents arrive at Springfield, and Lincoln tells Quimby he's disappointed in his dishonesty, but seeing as they're here now, they may as well hold the 4th of July celebrations here. Nixon, though, wants a fee to stay. Lincoln asks for maybe, he's trying to bargain the broker. He's like, maybe we have some form of appropriate accommodation be built. And so you make Quimby bribe Nixon, make Lisa help build the accommodation, make Homer help build the accommodation, and make Springfield his own constitutions. And this unlocks the White House. So I figured the White House should be the first thing we unlock, right? I think it's the most significant building that we're going to be getting, arguably. It's definitely a building that I've wanted in the game for a while. And there isn't any president that really suits being added with the White House. So you could add, like, maybe, who was the first one? Oh, God. John Adams. I think John Adams was the very first president to actually live in the White House. So if you had to give us any president with the White House, I think John Adams makes the most sense. John Adams isn't in this update, unfortunately. He was originally, but then I switched him out for James Madison. But if you're gonna add anyone with the White House, I guess it would be him, or maybe the current president. So I guess Biden, although that wouldn't. I don't know. I figure the best course of action is to just give us the White House and the prize track, because there's whatever you're gonna do, you're not gonna please everyone. You need because there's no one president that should be added with the White House. The White House is so unique as a building that no one should be added with it. But anyway, now the White House is in Springfield. Lincoln asks Quimby if he can take a look at the town's constitution, but Quimby tells him that he accidentally used it as toilet paper the other day. What? There was none in the Quickie Mart. Lincoln is very disappointed in Quimby. So make Quimby be lectured about the importance of constitutions, make Lisa help redesign the town's constitution, make Homer stay away from adding stupid laws, and make Springfielders earn constitutions, and this will unlock the US Constitution as an NPC. So this will just be a little guy, he just walks around your town. When you tap him, maybe he kind of puts his hands on his hip, and shows off his constitution. So Lincoln notices a lacking amount of freedom in the town's new constitutions and suggests taking some inspiration from the actual first 10 amendments. Make Quimby visit the Bill of Rights, make Lisa visit the Bill of Rights, make Homer use the Bill of Rights to wipe off ketchup, and make Springfielders earn constitutions. So this will not the Bill of Rights. It probably will have the actual Bill of Rights in it, but maybe the thing can be open. Maybe if you click it, it like blows away. Like the glass opens and the Bill of Rights blows away. But this is the decoration basically, with the little sign as well. They should probably just put this on a little stand like next to it. Yeah. So Homer is lampooned by Lincoln, and Lincoln tells Homer he doesn't deserve to be in America for what he did. Homer asks Lincoln for forgiveness. He's like, please, Lincoln, please. But Lincoln tells Homer that he's going to pass an emancipation acceleration law just for Homer. So you make Homer do slave labor, make Lisa beg for her father's freedom, make Quimby direct Homer's construction, and make Springfielders earn constitutions, and it's more like Mount Rushmore. I know, I'm sorry, it's a bit of a slavery joke, but whatever. You get Mount Rushmore anyway, as a decoration. This will be a really awesome decoration. I kind of wanted to, I don't know, I did this for laughs, Homer, the Emancipation Acceleration. It's just for Homer though, don't worry. We can accept that if it's just for Homer. So Lisa begs Lincoln to free her father, and he agrees. Homer can be emancipated after he rebuilt Mount Rushmore for him. Homer thanks Lincoln greatly, and Lisa, though, asks what they're going to do now, as they no longer have the Bill of Rights, and Lincoln kind of says, I've got the man for the job, don't worry. So you make Lisa help Lincoln get help, make Homer thank Lincoln, and make Springfielders earn constitutions, and this will unlock James Madison, the actual guy who, I think he wrote most of the Constitution, right? Or the Bill of Rights, I'm not sure. Or what the Bill of Rights are. First 10 amendments, right? I don't even know. Anyway, Act 2 drops. We get the US Vietnam base with Lyndon B. Johnson for 150 donuts. So this was seen in Skinner's past, his Vietnam days. So I just figure add this little base with the sandbags and the stuff to the side. Maybe it's around a little trench, and the truck could be there too. It's just called a US Vietnam base, and it comes with Lyndon B. Johnson. Main reason why is Lyndon B. Johnson was one of the very many presidents who was president whilst the Vietnam War was going on. So, James Madison has got the Bill of Rights rewritten, and with the help of Lisa, he has written one for Springfield too. All they need now is to convince the judges to approve it. Snyder looks over it and declares there is a lack of promised vacation here for judges, but approves of it anyway, as he's got a fishing trip planned and he needs to go now. So you make Snyder pass the bill, make Lisa convince the other judges, make Springfield earn bombs, and this will unlock the US Supreme Court. So you get this as a building. This one's cool. There's a lot of buildings that look like this, just sort of American buildings. These two look very similar, I'm not gonna lie, but hopefully with the sign and the added little statues here, it will be unique enough. Quimby announces that to celebrate the passing of the bill, they will have a vote on who is the best president, and he for one is voting for James Madison. Lisa objects to James Madison being voted. I mean, he sort of owned She, for one, is voting for her favourite, Jimmy Carter, saying he didn't do much, but Lisa says that's probably why she likes him. So you make Lisa campaign for Jimmy Carter, make Bart convince people to vote for his favourite president, make Quimby campaign for James Madison, and make Springfielders earn bombs, and this will unlock the Carter-Nixon tunnel. So, yeah, this is a tunnel in Springfield. It's called the Carter-Nixon tunnel. This is during the Hurricane Neddy. This is where I got it from when I was doing my review. The bowling alley was on top of it. I probably would say the bowling alley shouldn't be on top of it. It would kind of be funny though. It would be an added thing. It would be like a second bowling alley though. Do you know what? Nah, the bowling alley should be on top of it. Screw it. We'll just have 2 bowling alleys in the game. But anyway, this will be. I guess it could be a building, but the main thing I want is you to be able to connect the road into the tunnel. So I want that to be a feature of it. Quimby says the vote will happen now, and Bart reveals he convinced all the nerds, bullies, and teachers to vote for his candidate. He told the nerds he'd stop the bullies, he told the bullies he'd round up the nerds, and he told the teachers that he would put an end to the violence. But he duped all 3. So you make nerds get beaten up times 3, make bullies look for nerds times 3, make teachers try to stop bullying for times 3, and make Springfielders earn bombs, and this will unlock the voting booth as a decoration. So pretty simple, just a little voting booth really. I know this is from like a little sketch, the Simpsons, like the voting sketch they did, but they could still add it, I'm sure. James Madison tells Quimby he's looked at all the exit polls and it's not looking good for him. Another president is going to be taking his place and he is not happy about it. Quimby suggests they increase the money for the campaign by asking the Treasury Department. So you make Quimby try to get money from the Treasury, make Bart vote for his favourite president, make school kids vote for Bart's favourite president, and that'll be times 5, and make Springfielders earn bombs, and this will unlock the US Treasury Department as a building. Yeah, I know a lot of these buildings look quite similar, and maybe for US viewers they'll be like, yeah, I know they're great, this is great, but for me, these 2 buildings look way too similar, but whatever, I'm sure they can make it work. And then finally, Quimby reads the results and Madison has lost. He gets very angry at Quimby, asking him who has won, and Quimby reveals that due to Bart's antics, the winner is Harry Truman. Quimby asks Bart why he wanted him to win so bad, and Bart tells Quimby because he promised to blow up the school for him. Truman admits it's true. He really wanted to win the competition, so he made a deal with Bart, but he specifies there's not going to be any casualties, this time. So you make Bart negotiate with Truman, make Madison admit defeat, make Quimby admit defeat, and make Springfielders earn bombs, and this will unlock Harry Truman. So you get Harry Truman as a full playable character. Boom! Act 3 comes along, and you get Franklin D. Roosevelt with the Pentagon for 150 donuts. So Franklin D. Roosevelt was president when the Pentagon was completed construction, so that's the main reason why I've added them together. And this is the Pentagon. It was in Grandpa versus Sexual Inadequacy. It was in that episode. I believe it's meant to be the Pentagon, or at least I'm like 99% sure this is meant to be the Pentagon. So yeah, you get this as a building. I feel like this one will be so ugly as a building, but whatever. Truman agrees with Skinner that blowing up the school is too much, but they agree to blow up Willie's shed instead. Bart is a little disappointed and tells Truman he's going to pay for this. Bart says he's going to tarnish his name all over Springfield, and Abe tells Bart that Truman isn't half bad. He's the president who was there when the war ended and gave Abe his medals. Truman tells Abe he stole those medals. So you make Willie watch his shed explode, make Abe clutch onto his medals, make Truman try to get the medals back, and make Bart try to tarnish Truman's name, and make Springfielders earn rifles, and this will unlock the Kennedy Center. So you get the Kennedy Center as a building, the John F. Kennedy Center. So yeah, very cool. This has been seen. I think this building's been seen twice actually. So that'd be very awesome to get. Truman agrees to let Abe keep them if he can find someone else to take his place as worst president, as Bart has truly tarnished his name. Abe agrees. He has a president in mind who is much worse, a president who was a secret Nazi all along. So you make Abe talk about his war story, make Truman try to save his reputation, and make Springfielders earn rifles, and this will unlock the PT-109. I'm not sure exactly what the ship's name is, I'm only getting that just from this, but basically this was a ship that Abe was on in a flashback, and this was meant to be JFK here, and basically Abe was like, that guy's a Nazi, get him, and they beat him up. Truman likes where Abe is gone with this. JFK is a fine choice. He's, one of those hippie type of freaks who deserves the mantle of worst president. Abe agrees to tarnish his name, but first he needs some evidence that JFK is actually a traitor. So you make Abe spy on JFK, make Truman slander JFK, and make Springfielders earn rifles, and this will unlock the satellite outpost. So you get this. This one I feel like could be a decoration. It could be a building or a decoration. I'd be fine with either, really. But again, it was kind of seen with the whole Pentagon meme. So yeah. Abe listens to JFK talk to Lincoln about Springfield and how bad of a town it is. And although it doesn't mean that JFK is a traitor, it's still pretty good to turn Springfield on him. Abe asks Snake to spread the word that JFK hates Springfield. And Snake says that he'll spread it by blasting it from rooftops and slipping it in the copy of the tape in books. This will be a proper character assassination. Okay, do you see the jokes I'm trying to do here to get this next building added? I know, it's a bit edgy, I'm sorry. But make Snake spread the recording, make Abe listen in to JFK, make Truman give back Abe's medals, and make Springfielders hear the recording, ×5, and make Springfielders earn rifles. And this will unlock the Texas School Book Depository. Okay, so if anyone didn't catch on, this is the building where Lee Harvey Oswald shot at JFK. Maybe it's a bit insensitive to add. I could maybe see them not doing this, but I don't know. I figured why not add it. JFK does a speech, and the town begin to throw things at him and get mad. Truman thanks Abe and says he deserves his medals after all, and Truman has securely got the title of best president. But then Quimby announces that sadly Lincoln has got the Best President award. Truman, Madison, and all the others are in shock, and Quimby said that Lincoln's honesty and lack of scheming meant that he convinced a bunch of people to vote for him. So you make Truman be shocked, make Madison be shocked, make Springfielders listen to JFK's speech ×3, and make Abe curse JFK, and make Springfielders earn rifles, and this will unlock JFK. They could maybe do a voter fraud joke there as well, with Lincoln winning. But yeah, you unlock JFK as a full playable character for the game. Very awesome, very cool. Would be great to get him in the game for sure. He's definitely the president I want. After George Bush, he's the president I want the most. So yeah, it'd be really great to get JFK in the game. And then Act 4 comes along. So the Mr. Durr car with Gerald Ford for 125 donuts is in the store. So yeah, you get another president, Gerald Ford, with his car, which is the Mr. Durr car. Not an amazing decoration, I know, but there wasn't really much I could really think of to give with JFK. Plus, I kind of wanted, with Gerald Ford, and I also really wanted to add his car, so I figured why not just do a character decoration combo. But anyway, the presidents all begin to depart from Springfield, and they thank Quimby and the rest of the town for hosting them this 4th of July. Madison, Truman, and JFK all say their view on Springfield has much improved, and a bunch of hipsters tell the presidents to leave and never come back. They're not appreciated here, and all the presidents leave. Homer asks the hipsters why they're being so rude to all these brilliant men, and they explain the shadier parts of the presidents. Tyler Boom tells the hipsters anyway, that one president is still in town. It's George Bush. Get him! But all the hipsters are kind of improved and like, wait, it's not that George Bush, it's the other one. But what can we protest him on? What did he do? So you make teenagers think of something to protest, make Homer not understand protests, make Quimby say his farewells to the presidents, and make Springfielders earn moving boxes, and this will unlock protesters with nothing to say. So this will be a crowd. I know I hate crowds, I'm being a hypocrite, but this was like a joke where basically they were talking about the current president. So I had to look it up, and the current president at the time when the episode was released was George H.W. Bush. So I figured, so these protesters were protesting him, but obviously their protest signs are like, things are fine, A-okay, like there's nothing going on. I think this is just a joke. I don't know. I know like George H.W. Bush is fairly favourable compared to like his son or like Donald Trump. So I figure like we could kind of play on that. So Homer sees the wise guy, or Raphael, across the street, and asks him what's going on. He says that one president is not leaving Springfield and instead is deciding to move here. Homer sees all the perks of befriending a president. He's like, oh God, all the things I can get. And he offers to help the wise guy, who accepts. So you make Homer lift moving boxes, make Marge gossip about the new neighbor, make Springfielders earn moving boxes, and this will unlock the World Van Lines truck. So yeah, this is just a decoration. It's a moving van basically, but it was the one that helped move George Bush's stuff in, so I figured why not add it. Homer is still unsure who the new neighbor is and asks J. Edgar Hoover to find out for him. He tells Homer that all he knows is that it's a couple who are moving in. So he proposes that both of them dress up in women's clothing to disguise themselves as the wife's friend. So you make Homer dress up in Marge's clothes, make Marge ask Homer questions, or weird questions, make Springfielders earn moving boxes, and if you have J. Edgar Hoover, also make J. Edgar Hoover go undercover. And this will unlock the J. Edgar Hoover building, aka the FBI headquarters. Yeah, to get this as a building as well. I had to tie it in somehow. Barbara Bush spots Hoover and Homer as they creep around her house, and Hoover makes a dash for it. Barbara questions what Homer is doing, but thanks him for helping her move in. Marge comes in and apologizes to Barbara, who tells Marge it's no bother. So you make Marge apologize some more, make Homer be embarrassed, make adults watch Hoover flee through the streets ×3, and make Springfielders earn moving boxes, and this will unlock Barbara Bush. And also the presidential estate if you don't already have it. So yeah, you get Barbara Bush as a full president. This is the only person, apart from Columbus, who isn't a president, who I wanted to add in, just because she's a significant enough character in that episode that I figured she deserved to be added alongside George Bush. And then Homer figures out it must mean that her and George are removing into Springfield, and Barbara confirms this, telling Homer that there will be no more antics and fighting. Marge agrees, and George arrives. Him and Homer tensely face off. It's clear they're about to fight, and then Ned arrives to annoy them with his baked cookies and how he loves George Bush and how Homer should appreciate him. And Homer then teams up with Bush to fight Ned, like get him. So you make Ned run away from Homer and Bush, make Barbara be embarrassed of her husband, make Marge be embarrassed of her husband, and make Springfielders earn moving boxes. And this will unlock George H.W. Bush. So, slight issue with adding both Barbara Bush and George H.W. Bush, I'll talk about it now, is obviously both of them only recently died. Now, normally, when we get presidents in the game, they give us presidents who died a fairly long time ago. I think the president who sort of most recently died that we've got in the game is Richard Nixon, right? I think. Or Reagan. Reagan and Nixon, when did Nixon die? I swear Nixon died in maybe I'm being silly, but didn't he die in the 90s? I'm not entirely sure. I'll just quickly look it up. But obviously they're only very recently passed away, so that might be an issue. Yeah, Nixon died in 94, yeah. But I think after enough time, we definitely can get both of them in the game. I figured if they do a nice little tribute to them, I haven't really done it in here, but if they do a tribute to George Bush and Barbara Bush, that would be kind of nice. I think the Simpsons have a weird relationship with both Bushes, because obviously, if you don't know, back in the day, George Bush did a famous speech where he basically said to America, Americans need to be more like the Jetsons and less like the Simpsons. And then, because of that, I think then Barbara Bush said, a bunch of, stuff about how, the Simpsons is, really negative, or, a negative view, portrayal of the American family. And then the show creators wrote Barbara Bush a letter in the character of Marge, pretending to be Marge, and basically saying, we know we're not the perfect family, but we try our best, or whatever. And then Barbara Bush actually wrote this really sweet reply, saying, oh, I'm sorry for judging you too much, which I thought was a really nice moment. And they've got a special relationship with the show as compared to other presidents. So for that reason, I actually want them to do some sort of nice little tribute with both of these people. Say what you will about their politics, that's fine. I don't agree with them at all on politics, I don't think, or at least I don't agree with anything I know of anyway, that I agree with them of. But regardless, I think they were a special thing for the show, even though they didn't like the show very much. I figure there should be some little tribute there, personally. But, yeah, that's just me. So, yeah, those are the final two characters that are to be added. So, you may have noticed I didn't add Obama, I didn't add Trump, I didn't add, Biden, I didn't add Clinton, or any real. The most recent president I added was, of course, George H.W. Bush. Main reason for that is they're all alive, so I don't think. I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. So, yeah, that's the reason why. Okay, so the epilogue, George Bush decides that maybe it's best that he leaves. Springfield is not a place for presidents, but Quimby begs him to stay. They need someone like him, as Krusty isn't doing it for the town anymore. Lisa tells him to stay too. There are much worse Republicans after all. Bart tells George he finds him really cool too. And even Homer wants him around. So you make Homer beg Bush to stay, make Quimby beg Bush to stay, make Lisa beg Bush to stay, and make George Bush consider staying. And then at the end he will, he'll say, oh, what the hell, sure, Springfield, I'll join. Yeah, and I figure that will be the end. So anyway, let's do some tasks. So for Christopher Columbus, we have beg to be let into heaven. So this will be basically like God's hand. So like there'll be a cloud and God's finger, and then he'll just be like on the floor begging to go to heaven. Or possibly he's begging to go to heaven, and he has like the halo above his head, and then it cracks and he like falls, possibly. Christopher Columbus did some terrible things in his life, okay? So I don't know if he would be in heaven. Anyway, claim his territories for 4 hours. That will be any sort of US building, really. Try burn his journals for 8 hours. The journals betrayed him. So maybe this is being too political. I don't know. It's kind of like history though, so I don't know if it. Like, his journals did betray his character. Like, you should read his journals. They are pretty abhorrent. Serve sandwiches for 12 hours. That's basically him outside the Age of Heroes. Outside the Age of Heroes, basically, like, serving sandwiches. Yeah. Oh, God. Beg the devil to give him a second chance for 24 hours. That will be any sort of hell building, if you own it. And if you don't, I guess the church. For Thomas Jefferson, we have clean his statue for 60 minutes. So this will just be him cleaning up his statue that he comes with. Purchase more land for 4 hours. Obviously a reference to the Louisiana Purchase. Update the Declaration of Independence for 8 hours. That will be... Anyway, really. Argue with his statue for 12 hours. So this will be his statue kind of comes to life, and he'll be arguing with it. I think that would be a really cool animation. And then try recover his legacy for 24 hours. That will be... at any US building, really. For James Madison, we have rewrite the Constitution for 60 minutes. So this will be him sat down, rewriting it, basically. Buy a new quill for 4 hours. This will be at any sort of store. Add more amendments for 8 hours. That will be at any sort of government building. Maybe the White House, I guess. Spill his ink everywhere for 12 hours. This will be an animation of him writing, writing whilst walking the Constitution. The rewrite the Constitution, he'll be sat down at a desk. But for the spill his ink everywhere, he'll be like writing, and then he'll be like dipping his ink, and then he spills it all over the page and all on the ground, and he's like, so it's a mess. And then plan to write the Bill of Rights number 2 for 24 hours. For Lyndon B. Johnson, we have test rifles for 60 minutes. This will be him just at the Vietnam base, basically firing rifles. Maybe like one jams, and he hits it until it unjams. Send hate mail to Nixon for 4 hours. Why not? Buy a helicopter. Apparently Lyndon B. Johnson really liked helicopters, so I figured, buy a helicopter for 8 hours. Guard the camp for 12 hours. So this will be him in like a US military uniform, and he'll be guarding the US Vietnam base, even though obviously he didn't in real life, but I figured why not. And then definitely be the one to end the war for 24 hours. So that will be a task at the White House, I guess. For Harry Truman, we've got promote paying taxes for 60 minutes. So this will be him just advertising the dollar and like showing like a tax form or whatever, being a tax lover. Argue with Grandpa for 4 hours. Give a military speech for 8 hours. These ones will be probably... Argue with Grandpa will probably be with Grandpa in the retirement home. Military speech could be, again, any US building. Give a speech about dropping the bomb for 12 hours. And it will mean the bomb on... This will be in like his quest line, alright? It won't be Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It will be the school or something like that. We're not gonna delve into that. We'll allude to it. So yeah, that'll just be him outside any building, really. I guess a building he comes with, or he's in the prize track with. I didn't really think about this. Yeah, outside the US, outside the Supreme Court, doing a speech, basically. Let's say it's the Supreme Court. And then take credit for the war for 24 hours. There could be maybe some back and forth for like a British character, like the whole America saved Britain's ass thing, and Britain saved America's ass in World War One, and America saved Britain's ass in World War Two. Even though that's not exactly how it works, but they could do that. They could do that whole thing basically. And then for what's this guy's name again? I've actually forgot. Roosevelt, yeah, Franklin D. Roosevelt. There's two Roosevelts, right? Is there two Roosevelts? Anyway, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Pretend he doesn't need the chair for 60 minutes, so it'll be him. Like kind of. I know there's all these rumors, right, that he was in a wheelchair, and he was actually disabled and stuff. So basically, a member of the press comes along, and he stands out of the chair, and he takes some pictures, and then he sits back down, and he's like, phew, visit his fifth cousin for 4 hours. So apparently, Theodore Roosevelt is Franklin D. Roosevelt's fifth cousin. So, yeah, he goes to visit his fifth cousin. Demand the Pentagon be changed to the Octagon for 8 hours. Why not? That'll be in the Pentagon. Reopen the Pentagon, so he'll just be, cutting the tape outside the Pentagon, basically, and be briefed on intelligence for 24 hours. That'll be in the Pentagon. For JFK, we have promote Duff beer during an address. So he'll be, talking about... he'll be at a stand talking about something, and then he'll just suddenly pull out a Duff beer bottle and advertise it. It was from a skit with the famous debate with Nixon, and they both pull out Duff beer and start advertising it. Deny he's a traitor for 4 hours. This could be on the boat or the Kennedy Center or anything really. Win debates for 8 hours. This will be with Nixon if you have Nixon. If not, then it's not with Nixon, but in the Kennedy Center. Command a ship for 12 hours, so this will be him at the end of the P2, whatever it was, that ship that he comes with in his prize track. And he'll just be commanding it. And then rematch with Abe for 24 hours, that'll be in the retirement home. For Gerald Ford, we have drink with Homer, so there was a picture of him and Homer drinking a beer, so it'll just be him and Homer walking around Springfield drinking a beer, talking. I figured that'd be nice. Pardon Nixon again for 4 hours. Why not? Convince Homer he's the best president for 8 hours. With Homer, I guess, in the house. Pretend to be super cool in his car. So this will be him in his Mr. Durr car with some shades on, looking out the window, pretending he's awesome. And then move again for 24 hours. This will be at the presidential estates if you own it, which I presume most people will because it's in the prize track. And then for Barbara Bush, we have serve lemonade for 60 minutes. So it'll be her carrying around the lemonade. Try befriend the neighbours for 4 hours. This will be at any house, maybe the Brown house, I guess, or the Simpsons house, or the Flanders house. Bake cookies for Bar for 8 hours. That will be at the presidential estate. Garden for 12 hours. So this will be outside the presidential estate. She'll be in a gardening wear, and she'll basically just be pulling out some weeds or whatever. And then try resolve Georgia's conflicts for 24 hours. And that will be, again, any sort of neighbouring house, like the Brown house or whatever. For George H.W. Bush, we've got egg the Simpsons house for 60 minutes. This will be quite simply him throwing eggs at the Simpsons house. Why not? Stop the feud with the Simpsons for 4 hours. So that will be in the Simpsons house. Sleep in for 8 hours. That will be at the presidential estate. Fight Homer for 12 hours. So this will be an epic animation of George Bush and Homer brawling in the streets. So they'll just be fighting each other, then they move, and then they fight each other, and then they move. Kind of like the Chicken versus Peter Griffin fight. I want it to be an epic animation in the game. I want it to be the most complex animation. I want there to be different moves, different objects that are picked up and thrown. I want it to be a complex animation. It can't be simple. It has to be one of the best animations ever. And then teach families to be less like the Simpsons for 24 hours. Why not? We had to have that in there. So, yeah, that's my event. I figured 4th of July is a great idea to do a great event because there's just so many things. Now, in the past, they used to give us a president a year. It started when they gave us Lincoln, and then they gave us Washington, and then they gave us Theodore Roosevelt, and then they gave us the other one. What's his name? The other one we got. World War II guy. Yeah, so we've got presidents before in the past, and they used to do it one per year, but then after the 4th year they stopped. They never gave us one in, I think it was 2019, we didn't get one. And then in 2020 we didn't get one. And in 2021 we're not getting one. And it's really disappointing because it used to be a tradition that Reagan we got 1 year as well. Yeah. So they did it 5 years in a row. And so it used to be a tradition that every year we'd get a president, but they stopped it in 2019 and 2020 and 2021, and it's really disappointing. So the fact they're not giving us a president a year, they could at the very least make up for it, and obviously not this year, but next year, give us a 4th of July update, and give us all the presidents. Make up for it, Tapped Out, come on. There's so many to be added. And it's not like after they do this update, they can't give us the rest of them, right? There's plenty of presidents that have appeared in the show that I've missed off this list. They can still add them all in, that's fine. And there's plenty of other buildings, there's plenty of stuff I've missed off. There's different government buildings I've missed off. There's like the Grand Canyon, you know, there's so many different sites and things that they can definitely give us other presidents in the future. I think, though, they should make up for the lack of presidents in the last 3 years and give us this event. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Also, make sure to head to the Discord for the poll. It's already in the Discord thing, and most people have already voted. Bye bye.